Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Destry Wade, your homeless surfer here. Welcome back to the Homeless Surfer channel. Got a little runny nose today, so I'm gonna keep wiping my nose. I'm not on cocaine or anything crazy. It was always subconscious because when I was doing cocaine, people thought weird, like, oh my God, is he doing drugs? Just got a regular cold. I used to tell people when I was that way, I have a cold, but now I really have a cold. And I don't do cocaine anymore. It would kill me. Are you kidding? This shit takes 3 days out of my youth. I can imagine what it'd take out of my elderly life. I'd wake up another 20 years from now. Anyway, enough of that. Welcome back, man. Glad to have you guys here. It's been a crazy weekend, right? Jeez, trying to kill the president. Damn, man, I feel like I live in the 1860s. I don't get it. Why are we doing that shit? 4 years he gets elected, he gets voted out anyway. People are tripping out, man. Seriously, I don't need to kill anyone. They're going to get out anyway, and they suck. Their karma's going to kick their ass anyway. Bad things will happen. Not that, and if you make them happen, you're the one that is coming back on. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's get our heads together. Get your head in the game, as my coach used to say. I think a lot of the problems that do stem from this craziness is these people are these weird people that would do some stupid shit like that have to have psychological issues going way back to like elementary school. What the hell is in you that would make you one day you're in there teaching the ABCs to your third grade classroom? Hey, A B C D E F G. It's God, it feels good when you do that. I do it with my grandkids. It's awesome. How can you go from that to I think I'm gonna go kill this guy? I'm gonna run in the room with a gun and just try to shoot it out. Oh, forget about the 200 people standing around with guns and the other 8 right behind him with guns. I'll just do it. And then what? I'm going to go back and go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Dude, that's called bipolar, I think. I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I think they call that bipolar or something, or split personality. What the fuck? That's just stupid shit. Why? What good, as I've said before, what good does it do to hurt someone else's day? Do you feel better that way? I kind of have to look back at my youth. And I got to say, maybe it was back when I was a kid and I was fucking around with my little sister. Did I feel better for pissing her off and making her life hard? I didn't really feel better. Now at 61, I can say that. Ask me when I was 15, 13, 12, 10, 8, 7. Yeah, I feel way better. I love making my sister cry and scream. Makes me feel good because she took my attention. So that was a psychological issue. Luckily, I just outgrew it and realized, hey, my sister's awesome. She raised her family. She did good for herself. I couldn't be prouder. Even though I'm mad at her and I never get to talk to her, that's fine. I'm the bastard. But that's okay. I don't mind. You love me or you hate me. Doesn't matter. It doesn't make my day better or worse either way. There are people you look forward to seeing though. You ever notice that? Like Eric, my road dog. Dude's a mess. Every time I get around him, I end up getting drunk because it's just what he does, man. And when I'm around him, hell, let's get into the mode together. You know what I mean? So it's not the best thing for me, but when he's not around, I miss him. It's like, God, dude, I miss you. I love to go down there just to see him. And the cool thing, end of the week, we're gonna take that shot again back to. It's not gonna be called Coffee at Konos no more, though. We're gonna call it Coffee and AI because I'm gonna sit there with AI and have AI do some news, and then we'll do some speaking along the way as well. So anyway, I'm not gonna describe it too much because even though the whole point of this channel is for you to follow this journey that I'm on. The bottom line is things change quickly, and especially in my situation, I don't know what's happening next. Sometimes it's just overwhelming, but not really. I mean, it's just life. Every step you take in life is just another step. I got to go up today. I got to file for this place. I got to file the judicial review, okay? Because the Housing Commission is not capable of making a logical, reasonable, legal decision, at least according to the courts, because the courts reserve the right to have a legal review before they can evict me out of this program. Thank God. Now let's hope they're freaking got common sense. Why stick this guy out? We're working our ass off, telling the community that we're trying to get all these homeless people taken care of. You got one out of the way. Let's drag it back out and throw them back out here. Well, that didn't help the homeless situation. You just plus one it. You're supposed to be minusing one it every time, you know? So I don't know. We'll see. So it'll be an interesting day. I get to go down, but there's no stress to that. It's just a walkthrough, and you get to talk to people. I think these kids today, man, they don't talk to people. They talk to this thing. These aren't you. I love you guys. I love all 13, 14 of you. I got 14 now. I went up one. Stoked. Anyway, but I'm not really talking to you. Well, I am in my head, but not in real life. And the problem with that is, I don't know if I saw you in the street, I'd probably be like shy. I wouldn't know what to say. I'm not shy though. Don't get that confused. I'm not a shy guy. I'm loud. At worst, at best I'm loud. At worst I'm annoying. But either way, I don't mind. I don't mind talking to people. I was raised that way since elementary school. I was the first kid to want to be your friend. Always friend, friend, friend. And I liked it that way, and I still like it that way. I don't have enemies. I have no one trying to hurt me, and I live among a lot of really pissed off people. They got a lot of anger issues, and it doesn't take much. A little dog barking at them could cause a problem. That's how crazy it could get. But you got to know that, and you got to be aware of them. Don't go walking through the neighborhood, and that's what pisses me off, man. This is the crazy shit. People go walking through the neighborhood like they own the damn place. Dude, you're a visitor in a very bad place. It's like you're visiting through hell, singing about being from heaven. Dude, don't do it. It's not going to help. Trust me. It's not that they hate you. They hate themselves first. They hate life second. And all that's created so much anger inside their poor little bodies and minds. They can't help it. It feels, talking about does it feel good to hurt somebody? For them, it fucking does. It feels good to watch you bleed on the sidewalk. And I can't even get away with my old bullshit like I can with the Woods. See, in prison, there's different groups. There's the brothers, the others, the Woods, and the freaking Southsiders, which are the Mexicans. And then you got the Paisos, which are the real Mexicans. They speak Spanish. They do arts and crafts while they're in there for money because their family can't send them money. But they're amazing, dude. They take Wrigley gum and turn it into a whole bunch of them, right? A whole bunch of gum wrappers, fold them up some weird way that makes this beautiful silver frame. It's incredible. And these guys are amazing. Some of them are artists. They draw they'll take envelopes and they'll draw on them. And they'll draw like a Superman, Wonder Woman, whatever you ask them to do, they'll draw it for you. And it'll look bitchin'. And it's on your envelope, so you're sending it to your kids, so it looks custom. It's really awesome, man. These guys are phenomenally creative. I mean, seriously, look what they're look at some of their scams, man. They're getting better at it too, because they can make Wrigley spearmint gum into a freaking frame, but at the same time, they can get your phone and get all your bank information because they're smart, man. We grew up in America, and you know what sucks about that part? You really need to get out of here for a while. I never have. I travel on my TV, and I open my mind to reading. I read a lot, so I travel in my mind, and I understand other things besides this place. But we were raised, I was raised to think the whole world, like the Middle East, for example. In my mind, all my life was just sand and tents and shit. They didn't even, and camels. They didn't drive cars. If they did, they were like a 1972 Pacer going down the road, all no good paint, all dusted up and stuff. That's the vision we were given, of the poor world. They need our help. Those guys are so much smarter and been here so much longer than we have. They got traditions. And the thing about the rest of the world, more so than Americans, hey, the melting pot was a great idea. But if you put too much freaking vegetables in the stew, you overwhelm it. Then it doesn't taste good or look good or even smell good. We got too much of that going on. Too much shit in the stew. We got to thin this out a little bit, fuck. And that I don't know how I'm saying this. We just need to be welcoming, loving, and kind to everybody. And from there, we'll figure it out. The one thing about being old that I do like is I've seen this shit before. I was going through a couple things on my TV, and man, the 60s were a madhouse. And 4 murders occurred in 6 years, all politically related. Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and there was one more. I can't remember. But anyway, all in those same years. 68 was a hell of a year. Then we had the hippies and the drugs just started showing up. And We weren't sure. We had no tests. We had no data. We didn't have any data, man. No data on the dope, bro. We had to learn that. And they used us as guinea pigs to gather that data. But now they know. And we know that shit's bad. It doesn't go anywhere. If you walk into a bank, you might get away with the money. You might go to prison. Now, you make the choice. Which might are you more likely to get? That's where your decisions come in. So it's a tough one, man. And for me, what I was thinking about this morning before I got on here was the the difference between the realities and the existence, right? If existence is the most important thing, then I guess we do need to scream and yell and make our leaders follow the road that we want them on. The problem is we got a split country. So one leader wants this way and that's going to work. The other leader wants it this way and that's going to work. But they're fighting with each other. We can't be fighting with each other over this stuff. We can, man. There's no reason. I always said when I was a kid, like I said, I've never really been political. But when I was in college, you always start looking at stuff like that. And I determined real quickly that, hey, I'm a Democrat based on social issues. I'm a Republican based on business issues, finance. I like to be an entrepreneur. I very rarely, let's say it that way, out of 40 years of working life, probably 30 of them were my own companies. I didn't like working for people. I didn't want to do shit their way. And like it started when I was 18. I had a summer job and I was supposed to go around selling these suitcases, right? So they were just shit ass vinyl suitcases. But they had this whole hustle. The dude that the boss would pull up in his Porsche. They had a office storage shed thing. So everybody gather in the back in the storage shed where they'd hand you your suitcases. And the guy would pull up in the Porsche, jump out. All right, how's my team ready? You guys all ready to go? Let's go. Come on, let's go. We're gonna make $1 million, man. Someday you're gonna drive that car. Yes, you will. I did it in 3 months. You can do it. You can do it. And I mean, literally, it was 40 minutes of that shit. It was like kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street, very similar to that. But instead of making millions of dollars in the stock market, we were selling $5 a piece I got out of these suitcases. And there was a whole pitch to it. You know what I mean? Yet, and I had to learn that. That was a good thing. I learned my first pitch of sales in my life was this. You walk in the office, you're carrying these suitcases. You got one over your shoulder, another one over this shoulder. You're carrying 2 or 3 in your hand. And you walk in, you go, hey, how are you doing? Good. Hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but we just finished a show down at the mall, and it was a good weekend. We had a great weekend, but it's going to be more expensive to ship this shit back than it is to just dump it at wholesale price. So we just want to dump it at wholesale price. Would you be interested? Great quality. You're going through it. You're rubbing it, doing the Vanna White on it. Oh, it's beautiful. It's got this. And look at this handle, so strong. And they freaking buy it, man. I did pretty good at it. But I was in the Gordon Gekko kind of mood. And I was thinking, I am never going to be Gordon Gekko selling these fucking suitcases, right? So I quit that job. But anyway, long story short, the guy rented the Porsche. The whole thing was a freaking lie. And nobody ever made any money out of there other than the guy that rented the Porsche. Because he got $5 or $10 for every one that we sold. So good for him, man. Good hustle. I fell for it and I worked for it. But what the hell? I learned some things from it. Learn how to be not afraid to walk into a business, say hello. I'm here to talk to you. And that's helped me my whole life, which is what allowed me to go into my own business. Because I said, hey, if this jackass can do this, I'll be the jackass. I'll do this. Kind of like the Myra Lansky thing where he's like, he played craps one time with the 5 cents that his mom gave him to warm up dinner. Because back in those days in the 20s and shit, they took their pot down to the guy that had an oven and he heated it up and it cost a nickel. Okay. But he was going there. His mom said, hey, go down, take this nickel, get the dinner heated up. He goes, all right. So he goes down, but he rocks up onto a dice game. And he decides to bet. And he lost. So poor guy had to go home and tell mom and dad, like, shit. I would have just said I dropped the nickel. I wouldn't tell him I went gambling with it. But anyway, he fessed up to what he did. And he said, I learned one thing at that moment in my life. I don't want to play the game. I want to run the game because he identified that the whole thing was a hustle right from the gate, right? So that's what happened. He learned to be the guy. And that's what I was like. Like my brother got ahead of me because he graduated BYU and took off on his corporate world. Got to be a vice president and shit. Well, I decided I was going to be CEO, so I started a company and called myself CEO. So I'm just as important or more because I'm the CEO. Buck stops here, right? But anyway, so I learned from that stuff. But like I say, we were talking kind of a little bit about what's important, existence or reality. And I see reality over here on this hand. This is the reality hand. Because what's important, man? I'm getting close to dying, and people don't like talking about that shit. But I don't think most people after 60 don't consider that once in a while, at least once in a while. You know what I mean? Like, especially after you have some major health issue where it just knocks you on your ass and you realize how quick life is going to be gone. It's not going to be, even if you get cancer and drag it out for 9 months. So 9 months is shit, dude. I do 9 months in prison and on jail on my head. It's nothing. So 9 months of living and most of it in a bed because you're crashing. Wow, it can happen so fast. So that to me is what's more important because this whole thing's getting left behind, or at least this dimension of this thing is getting left behind. I'm still working on all that. You know what I mean? I really spend a lot of time reading and listening and comparing notes. And here's the crazy shit, dude. I did. There is a line of truth through everything. In fact, that's what my book's called, The Iron Rod. It's the line of truth. The Mormons have this history, this story that they taught me when I was a kid. It's in the Book of Mormon, and it's pretty good actually. And out of all the things that are, I feel like that is the thing that I remembered. I remembered for some reason. Why do I remember that? I don't know. Something in me knew to put it back here for future reference. But anyway, the story goes, dude's walking through this basically it's like a creek bed. Just picture a creek bed, right? It's got a couple sides about 3-4 feet on it. It's got water under your feet. You got shoes, they're all wet and crappy. And along the creek bed as he walks, there's a rod. And in order to get through that creek bed, you got to hold that rod, right? If you let the rod go, you're fucked. You're not going to make it through it. And so along the way, however, he comes upon big mansions and huge, beautiful buildings full of people who are looking down at him and laughing at him as he struggles through holding the iron rod. Bottom line is that the long story short of that meaning of that story is hold to the truth because the truth is what's going to get you through. You can leave the truth anytime because people are making fun of you or you don't think, I'm not doing what I should be doing. You know what you're doing? You're learning. That's what we're here to do. Learn. You've always known I've went through this thing. Okay, I got to tell you, and it's crazy because if you actually study this shit, you already knew it. I didn't know it. I was raised LDS, and they were very limited Mormon. They're very limited on perspectives, on other information. Like they do consider the Book of Mormon basically to be it. At least now, keep in mind, and let me clarify this: I haven't been to the Mormon Church in 40 freaking years, man. So what they know and what they don't know, what they believe and don't believe, is very limited to me. Even when I was going back and being around my family in my youth or in my young adulthood, they didn't talk religion with me. They knew I didn't want to fucking hear it. So they at least gave me that courtesy, and I gave them that discomfort of not being able to talk what's a central thing in their lives. But the problem being is, God dang it, I lost it. See? Damn, this old thing is killing me, dude. Ugh, I'm going to be bummed when I just can't remember my freaking name anymore. And it was weird because when I was in the hospital, I had that problem. I couldn't remember. I thought my daughter was my sister and so forth and so on. It was horrible. But anyway, God, I was going somewhere with a religion, but no, not with a religion. It was something about, I can't remember. I guess it won't be that important to you because it's not important to me, but I'm going to leave you hanging. Speaking about hanging, guys, like, subscribe, all that stuff for me, please. I really need it. I wanted to do this. I like doing this. And I'm learning doing this. I'm learning about myself. If for nothing else, this is a thing that I can go back to and listen to myself, explain myself to myself. Because I'm trying. I really am trying. Oh, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, I am trying, man. I'm trying to find the truth part. I just want the truth part. Okay. And in my studies, what I found is there's a whole shitload of truth out there. We just couldn't access it before. We didn't have the means. I mean, in 19, oh, let's go back, when no, just say 1950, there was no information coming, unless it was in a textbook or something. It was written by some geeky geologist. Who reads that shit? About the Emerald Tablets or about the Anunnaki, the people that came before. See, the Bible started at a certain period. It was written and it got picked up at a certain time. But there was shit happening before that time. And there's shit that the Bible says that you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense. One thing you got to realize, if we are like, God is us, we are God. We are like him and he is like us. So if we get insecure or if we get nervous or we get confused, he's dealing with the same things. So let's not let that bother us. But the Anunnaki and the freaking, the way they did things and how we ended up being, what the Garden of Eden actually was. You want to know what it was? It was a biolab. They were creating humans. That's what they did. They came down in their advanced sciences and they created a working class called humans. They tried 4 times that we know of. You got the Neanderthals and the other guys. We got all those dudes. I can't even remember all their names, but there have been different types of humans along the way. Those ones didn't work. They kicked that one aside, or let's just set them over here. They're big. They got to go make their own way. And they redid it. And they kept redoing it till they got it where they liked it and where God liked it. Said, okay, this is man. I've made him. He's made after my image. Boom. The words. Every time I get that crazy freaking spiritual thing going on in my head, it's the word. It keeps telling me the words. The words are important. Little words. Little words that I find. I can't even bring them up because my mind don't work that way anymore. But I wish I could, because the words are huge. The words grab me. That one word can grab me, and make me start thinking about that subject, or relate it all of a sudden. Holy shit. I can't, wow. I wish I could remember. It was just last night I heard one of the words, that make a difference. And I'm not going to go on the religious side, but that was just the biological side. That's how we got here. God didn't just poof us up. I know you probably could. I don't know. I'm working. I'm starting to figure all this stuff out. That's my research. That's my search being on a human. I don't care what the government's doing. They're taking everybody's money, and you're giving it to them. That's the crazy shit. They're like the best strong arm motherfucker ever. You just walk up and go, give me your 60% of what you got. Everything. Oh, you only got this much cash, but that house is worth, so I want all the cash because you can't give me the house. Or I'll just take the house in full and you get the hell out of here, take your cash with you. Dude, that's what they do. That's no lie. They're people that want to be in charge of other people. And you know why? Because their lives suck. They are so miserable, so self-doubt, so full of nothing, because they live in this power vacuum. And it's terrible and it's horrible to watch. I mean, God, I laugh about it. I do. I have to laugh or I probably freaking cry. It's horrible. But anyway, it's crazy. Hey, I do have the books coming though. Check this baby out. Hold on. I'm gonna try. Oh, let's see. Boom. Oh, I know. Let's go like this. There we go. Oh, kinda. Okay. Let's see. Oh, darn it. It's hard to do like this. Anyway. See?